Hi there. Hello and welcome to the Experience Podcast. My name is Dennis, and with me today I am a multi-dimensional spiritual being having a human experience. My name is Neil, and in today's video we want to talk about black, and we want to talk about the void and the emptiness. And how do you feel when you look at the emptiness or when you look at the void? How do you feel when you look directly into emptiness? Well, I guess my question is what do you define as emptiness so that I can answer the question correctly? So I can literally only speak from my own experience, and with that question, that's an amazing question because there literally is no empty space, and what we perceive as being like gaps between objects is full of atoms, it's full of protons and electrons and photons, and it's full. There literally is no empty space. There's a full space that we exist in every day. But that's an amazing question because of that exact scenario where we live in a full environment. Sure. And so like the emptiness, it goes to, so like how I kind of imagine it is like the emptiness of the mind. So you have word chatter, you have thoughts, and when you don't have those, you have emptiness. So have you ever experienced that? And emptiness of the mind, like having little to zero thoughts. Yes. So how did you feel when you experienced that? Most of the times that I felt those were times when I was practicing meditation. And this has been, I don't practice meditation as often as I should. But I felt very light and in the moment, present. So that's kind of this emptiness that I want to communicate about today. And I want to bring up a website by Gigi Young that's going to be in the description of this video. And I highly recommend that you do your own research and do multiple researches, because the research that you do is the only research that's valuable to you as for you. So with what Gigi Young talks about is color. And she's talking about when we understand color, it's actually directly related to the chakra system. Specific colors are, and specific colors are related to spell casting, and it's used in the media, and it's used by by the so-called elites. You are the elite, but it's used by these people to bring about certain feelings in individuals, like color is. And like the color black is the color of the void. And it's essentially the color of the inner world, the unknown. It's the color of mystery, of death, of grounding, and of protection.
What is the color yellow represent?
So we want to talk about the void, so I'll get back with you on that, but let's talk specifically about the color black.
Because that's the void.
It,
Okay.
it's represented by that color. So black contains all the colors. Every single color is contained in the color black. So it's a connection to deep esoteric wisdom. Meditating in darkness allows your intuitive or instinctive abilities to accelerate and a powerful connection to your inner world to form. In the void, aka darkness, our true self is revealed to us. That is why so many people fear darkness. They fear the journey into themselves, into their darkest, most neglected corners, where white is clearing through like an external expansiveness in a different black energy draws inward. It expands our consciousness in a different direction into the internal world. It lets us see who we truly are, and in knowing who we truly are, we come to know everyone and everything. Using black in rituals to indicate you're interested in turning into a deeper meaning and messages at play within yourself. Use it to bring your focus inward or to draw in the energy around you. It is the gateway to your true inner self and can bring clarity when you feel lost. It is best used in deep meditations or spells and rituals that would require energy to be drawn inward, such as facing fears, bringing forward lost memories, or grounding and protection.
You know, a thought that I just had. So you said black is spells. When we
Gigi
write,
Young said that. That's directly her words.
so when we spell a word, a lot of the words that we read are black. So they spelled the words, but did they spell the words or did they cast a spell?
Probably both. Because literally anytime you write a word, you're casting a spell. That's why it's called spelling.
Sure.
Getting it written in the right way so that you're now spelling it the correct way, so you're casting a spell.
Sure.
So yes, that goes directly hand in hand. But like with this void and with this darkness, I've not recently, but I've actually had this for quite a while and I haven't yet utilized it, and just kind of finding out more about the color black has really aroused my curiosity about this thing. But I have this mirror and it's essentially called I do not know the exact specific name for it. I used to know, but it's a mirror that's a black mirror. And when you look at it, it is like looking into the void. It's looking into blackness, darkness. And you can buy these mirrors online on various sources, but this is a tool designed to project your focus inward by looking into a black mirror.
So you're forced to see your shadows.
Not necessarily, but it's a tool used to look inwards.
Okay.
You're not forced to do anything. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
The mirror helps you find your shadows. Is that correct?
It can be used for that.
Okay. That's my question.
So like with this emptiness and with this void, like what I've personally experienced is that when I don't have any thoughts, or like when I'm completely in the moment, it's like being in the void, but it's almost like creating from it. Like not necessarily, because when I'm talking about the void here, it's not even necessarily related to the color black. It's literally about having an empty mind. And so let's say I go to pick up a glass and like I used to.
And you're saying a drinking glass.
Correct, a glass of water. So I used to actually physically think, okay, so I'm now gonna pick up the glass. I no longer do that. When I pick up a glass of water, I actually watch my hand go across through space, latch onto it and pick it up. And in doing that, I'm feeling the glass, I'm feeling my hand move, but I'm so in the moment of picking up the glass of water that thoughts cease to exist in my mind about picking it up. Because I'm doing the action and I'm feeling the action and I'm engrossed in the action of doing. And therefore I'm in the void creating from emptiness something. How do you view that?
I think that's very incredible. I feel like that's a form of mastery of self.
Well, that and it's a form of meditation, really.
Sure.
Because when you can be so in the moment, you are now meditating in the moment.
So, and do you do those, like, do you feel like you're in the moment like that throughout the entire day?
Absolutely not. And it goes back to that finding balance. And a lot of people want to find balance. Well, what I'm beginning to learn is that it's not about finding that perfect balance. It's about realizing that you're the balancing factor. And it's about balancing wherever you're currently at. And I view that the same way as being in the moment. There's times when I'm super in the moment, and there's times when I'm not in the moment at all. But it's about finding that balance point where I can be in the moment most of the time, and some of the time, like things happen and you're just like, and like I'm like speaking for myself here, there's times where I'll be completely out of time and completely not in the moment. I'll be like projecting into the future and thinking about the future and like, and that type of thing, which is where I'm not in the moment, but I feel that there's this balancing going on, and it's a constant balancing. It's not about like, boom, you got it, you're there. Now that you're in the moment, everything's just going to work out for you. Well, it's not like that. It's like you're in the moment, and then you're maybe not in the moment, and then you really get back into the moment. It's like, this is nice, and then and it's about that balancing.
Sure.
It's not about balance, it's about balancing. And you as a Libra know a lot about balancing. How does that play out in your life? About balancing, being in the moment and being out of the moment.
Well, I will tell you, if things get really out of balance for me, or if I feel like they're out of balance, it really creates a lot of unhappiness. And not really unhappiness, but it makes me realize that I will say that yes, there is unhappiness involved, because the more that I feel that certain things in my life are balanced, the better I feel about myself.
So, but how do you view it specifically for being in the moment and like not being in the moment? How do you balance those energies for you? Or how does that play out for in your
How
life?
are tools that I use?
Either or. How do you balance? What is your method of balancing? Being in the moment and not in the moment?
Yeah. Personally, I feel like in the last year, I've really started using oils. And oils like, and I'm talking about external things now that help me get into the moment throughout my day. So I feel like essential oils are one, and also being aware of my breath, how I'm breathing,
That's a huge one.
and crystals. Like I've really been experimenting with crystals, and I feel like the more I understand myself and the more that I understand crystals, I feel like there are definitely some that help me stay more in the moment than others.
Okay, that's fascinating. Some as in which specific ones?
One of them for me and me being a Libra is the bloodstone. That one there is definitely, and I don't have it on me at the moment because I got a bunch of other ones on me, so that I'm wearing. But if I really want to get in the moment and be present, that would be the one that I would pick. It
Sure.
would be the bloodstone.
So
How about you? What do you do?
for balancing, coming back to the breath is something like when you said that, that super resonated with me because I really focus on my breath. And we have a video already filmed about how to become more present in the moment. And that will be in the description box of this video. And in that video, we talk about how there's various methods of getting in the moment. One of them is dancing. One of them is exercising, running. Another one is focusing your conscious attention on your tongue. And that is one that I utilize literally every single day. And there's a part of me that so enjoys chewing gum, and I enjoy chewing gum because it gives me something to focus on rather than being totally in the moment. So there's times that I do not have gum, and what I noticed at those times is that I'm beginning to be more and more comfortable focusing my conscious attention on my tongue to the point where it's getting to the point where I feel just as comfortable doing that as I do when I chew gum. And even when I'm chewing gum now, I'm putting my conscious attention on how the gum is tasting to my tongue, how my tongue feels on it. And that is a method that I literally use every single day, is putting my conscious attention on my tongue, because your tongue is one of the most sensory organs in your body. It can sense hot and cold, it can taste tart and sweet, it can taste salty, it can taste like all of these senses your tongue can pick up. And therefore it's constantly picking up some sort of an input. Therefore, when you focus on it, you kind of come into your body. You're like, here I am, rather than being all spacey and like thinking about the past or ruminating on the future. Or when you focus on your tongue, for me, it just really grounds me into my body.
Sure.
So that's a method that like I really use for this balancing of being in the moment. When I'm out of the moment, then I'll really focus on my tongue to get me back in the moment. But I highly recommend that you check out that Becoming More Present video if you want to learn more about being present in the moment. So I want to speak some about the number 666 and how it's utilized, it's taught that it's like a devil number, it's a beast number. And I actually want to read from the Bible what it says, and then I have a few other sources where I really want to dive into what this pertains to. So in Revelations, in chapter 13, pretty much towards the end of chapter 13 in Revelations, it talks about, and it's talking about he, and it's talking about this beast that came out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb. He spoke like a dragon. He exercised all the authority of the first beast on his behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast whose fatal wound had been healed. And it goes on to continue. And then, so it's talking about this thing. And then it says, he also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number. The number is 666.
It actually says, for it is man's number.
That's exactly what it says.
Wow.
So that's coming from the Bible. And so as a number in, like as in angel numbers, so like how is the number 6 viewed? And that's what I want to get into here. So when these numbers show up, we think that some bad energy has entered our life.
Sure.
We're like, what's this number doing here? The movies we watched have twisted the way that we see this number. So mainly the message behind 666 is to control your thoughts. It has to do with your thoughts are imbalanced. That's what it's like telling you. If you see this, it's like you need to focus on what your thoughts are. You need to control your thoughts, and your thoughts are out of balance. In simple words, we go through phases of life where we attract vibrations of despair, distress, anxiety. Usually these thoughts are associated with momentary issues like money and purchasing new items. This is when the universe sends you a literal sign in the form of the number 666. When you get caught up in this situation, try asking for help from the divine source and make an effort to change your track. So the number 6, like just 1 6, in numerology, the number 6 is believed to have the properties of bringing harmony and stability in life. Not only that, it represents responsibility. In particular, it is often linked to domestic matters. That makes it great for people who have big responsibilities such as family obligations, kids, and making a home, as it is a number that symbolizes happiness and blessings. It invites good fortune and wealth. And in the Chinese culture, they put the number 666 in window shops because it's believed to bring blessings to the owner of the whoever has the shop. Or
okay,
so it's a very common number as an angel number in the Chinese culture.
Sure.
So the number 666 guarantees that when you divert your thoughts from negative to positive, this is the imbalance. When we see the number 666, it's telling us your thoughts are imbalanced and you have negative thought forms right now. and it's time to switch from the negative to the positive. It's like a literal sign. So when this number guarantees when you divert your thoughts from negative to positive, all your desires will be met. To do this, you can go for a walk to a quaint park or sit by the beach and watch the sunset. If you don't feel like traveling outdoors, you can start exercising, meditating, taking a relaxing bath, vibing to your favorite song. Look for something that brings out your lively side and let it take over your mind. So it's this, in numerology, it's talking about how it's literally a sign that your thoughts are imbalanced, and focus on what you want. So that's kind of, that website is going to be in the description box. And then, so 6 as just the number 6 as being a blessing and being a responsibility number. Number 6 on the periodic table of the elements is the periodic element carbon. And carbon consists of 6 protons, 6 photons, and 6 neutrons. And like, what is carbon? Like, carbon is what makes up the wood in trees. It's that denseness. And like, carbon is also, like, trees exhale carbon dioxide. We inhale carbon dioxide, and actually trees inhale carbon dioxide, exhale oxygen. We, as sentient spiritual beings, inhale oxygen, convert it to carbon dioxide. So we literally have carbons in our body. The element carbon, we literally have it around us, in the air, and it's also in the tree composition of the wood. And so carbon is literally all around this, whatever this is, this plane, this thing, that we're on and that we're in. And so carbon is literally 666. Carbon is 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 photons. And it's everywhere. What do you want to add to that? Or what direction can you take that?
I really feel like I'm kind of uneducated on that topic. I mean, to be honest, like, I feel like I've learned a lot just sitting here and listening.
Sure. So literally, there is not one single thing to be afraid of in this universe. Like, what is fear? It's false evidence that appears real. Like, you feel fear and you're like, your mind is telling you with every single cell and atom in your body, like, this thing is gonna happen. It's real, but it's fake. It's false evidence that appears real. So stay blessed, stay multi-dimensional, continue infinitely experiencing.